Any of you folks who wear glasses know what I'm talking about. The summer heat, boy, you get to sweating. Can't see a damn thing out of these glasses. But anyway, this pump, the story I got with it, I bought it from a buddy of mine about 3 years ago. And it's the only Kewanee private utility vertical water pump that I've ever seen. I've seen a few small oil pumps that are similar, but never a water pump. And the pump is its own thing. I'll run in the shed here. I'll just take a picture of it. I've got an electric motor that was originally mounted on here, and I'll include that because some of you guys may have generators and you could run this on an electric motor. It'll bolt right up where that engine's at. But it includes this little Satley throttle governed engine too. The story we got from it, he bought it at the, I gotta think, over in Iowa. This is terrible. Denmark, Iowa show. So a buddy of mine by the name of Al Lauk, some of you may know him, bought this pump at the Denmark, Iowa show probably 10 or 12 years ago. And then I purchased it from Al about 3 years ago. And he had never got it pumping. It still had the electric motor on it. I put this old gas engine on it, which the gas engine is probably period correct. It's from the 1930s. And I got it pumping. It takes 2 check valves. You got to have one on the inlet and one on the outlet. But the story Al got with it, from the guy he bought it from at Denmark several years ago, was that this pump was originally used over in eastern Iowa for a little schoolhouse. They used this pump to transfer water from a shallow well to the boiler for heating. And my dad seemed to think that was probably seemed like it would be about the right story, because the story he got is this base was mounted on a big shelf. You know, it wasn't on a cart or nothing. Somebody else has done all that. But this was mounted on a shelf on the wall, and it was just electric. And this old pump was used to transfer water from a shallow well into a boiler for heating. I know I repeated myself there, but I'm trying to get it right so you guys kind of have the history. And I will include the starting crank for the engine. But I prefer to rope start it. It's just a little easier for me. And it may take me a couple times here, folks, because I haven't started this in a couple months. We'll see what she does, though. Right now I've got the belt unhooked, and I've got a deal over here where I can rope start her. Sorry about that. I had a couple loose bolts on the motor mount, so I tightened them up. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the belt, and then I'll take you for a walk around the engine so you can see her pump water. Alrighty folks, we got her primed up. She's pumping water. Pumps pretty good. Right there's your kill switch. And like I say, I do have a starting crank for this engine. Sometimes you can get it when it's hot, but usually for the first start of the day, I like to start it and let it warm up and then belt it up to the pump. We'll try it. Yeah, see, it's a little difficult to crank start this little guy. Yeah, you almost have to have two hands to choke it and crank it. But that's why I kind of like rope starting it. As far as for what repairs would go, the repairs that I know of, right over here, this stud was broke out when I got the engine. So I have brazed and JB welded that. You can see how it looks kind of built up compared to that side of the flange, which is original. There's also, right in the center of the beam here, I know I've got it all painted black, but that has been busted right there by the arm. It was probably seized up and somebody tried to make it pump water at one time. But it's a good old repair here. I didn't do this. It was that way when I got it, folks. It'll be that way when I sell it. Here's the other side of that. Right on that main arm where it's been, you can see it where it's rough up there. It's been brazed, busted right in half. And I'll back out so you can see that's right there. It's been brazed. And right here is where I had to braze it because that stud was busted out. This is just a packing gland, and so it doesn't have a lot of pressure on it. It just holds the packings in there. On the engine, it has been soldered, and I had to red coat the fuel tank. It was in pretty bad shape, but I soldered her up and put 2 coats of red coat in it. And I mean, like I told you, it's been about 3 months, and I think that fuel in there is about a year old, and so she holds. She's still, I don't know if you can see, but I can still touch it with my finger. So it's got about a half tank in it. I did make the end of the muffler because it had no baffle. That's the bottom of one of my old cooking pans, folks. Some aluminum that's copper coated. I thought that made a nice little muffler in though. I think that might have been a lid actually, because it already had that what do you call that, convex, that shape I wanted. And then for the starting procedure, I've got a nail down in here. You pop the spring off, whoop, take that over, and then we take the belt off. And then that right there, you wrap that rope around. Now got to remember you're wrapping it counterclockwise because we're on the back side of the engine here. And like I say, I just give her a pull and away she goes, and then I hook the belt up once it gets a chance to warm up. I hope that gives you enough information. I tried to get it out and clean it up as best I could here. I did repaint it about 3 years ago when I got it. I have no idea if these are the original colors or not, but I like green and I like black, so I did not paint the engine. It's either an old repaint or original paint yet. I really think this is probably original paint on this engine because I can see the red primer underneath it. And I am not sure of the horsepower. It actually doesn't have anything stamped, but it says 1800 RPM. And it says 006225. And it's a Satley or Montgomery Ward. I imagine it's like maybe 1.5 horse, 2 horse. Maybe some of you guys would know better. But like I say, there is a big electric motor that will mount, you know, right down in here where the engine is. This is all, so see it bolts together there, but that's an original casting that came with the pump. And like I say, I do have the original electric motor that's in working condition. The electric motor is 120 volt. You can plug it into a standard outlet. And like I say, this is the only one of these pumps that I know of to exist. Maybe some of you guys have them in your collection, but I'm located in Monmouth, Illinois, 61462, about 7 miles west of Monmouth actually. And this is the only one I've seen around here. Alrighty folks, thank you for looking and have a nice day.